The unsanctioned network. A fragile calm had settled over the NAAA sectors of the Vinter veins. Omnicorp Ventures, their aggressive claim jumping thwarted, had retreated from the lucrative asteroid clusters. Yet, Chief Astrid Vinter too knew their victory in 2353 was precarious. Silas Thorne, Omnicorp CEO, was not one to accept defeat gracefully. His public pronouncements blamed NAA's unilateral aggression for their withdrawal, twisting the narrative for Earth-based media. The MSA, under Chairman Jian Li, continued its public criticism of NAA's frontier justice, even while privately acknowledging the effectiveness of Astrid's strategic response. The present frame timeline was 2354. The hum of Yggdrasil, usually a comforting backdrop, now carried a subtle undertone of unease for Astrid. She sat in her office, reviewing the latest NAAA security reports. The Vinter veins were secured, Omnicorp's digital footprint effectively purged from NAAA's operational zones. But the deep space frontier, as always, held new and evolving threats. The first hint of trouble came not from external aggression, but from within the digital ether itself. Alara Vance's astrogation team reported strange, highly encrypted data bursts. These were not coming from known MSA or NAAA sources, nor were they Omnicorp's usual communication patterns. They were appearing in the vast, seemingly empty stretches of solar space, far from established shipping lanes or mining outposts. Faint, but consistent, Chief, Alara reported, her holographic display showing a web of anomalous signals. Their origin points are mobile, highly distributed. They appear to be relay nodes, forming a network. A new one. Who owns it? Astrid asked, her mind already racing through the implications. A new network meant new power, new potential for influence, or disruption. Unknown. The encryption is sophisticated. Not quite NAAA grade, but far beyond anything typical for independent operators. And the architecture, it utilizes principles similar to the ancient Helios prime network, but fused with modern adaptive algorithms. Whoever built this knew what they were doing. They had access to advanced technology and perhaps even some of the Helios prime salvage data we recovered. Lars, NAAA systems lead, confirmed Alara's assessment. My team's initial attempts to trace or shut down any nodes have been futile. The network is too distributed, too agile. It reconfigures its pathways faster than we can track them. It's like trying to catch smoke. The network's traffic grew exponentially over the following weeks. It started interfering with low-level NAAA and MSA communications in certain solar sectors. Not a full blackout, but subtle data corruption, delayed transmissions, and compromised signal integrity. Essential NAAA data streams, crucial for guiding prospecting drones and managing resource acquisition, experienced intermittent packet loss. MSA vessels reported similar issues with their navigation updates. The disruption was designed to be irritating and destabilizing, rather than overtly destructive. Chairman Jian Li of the MSA, already embarrassed by his organization's inability to control Omnicorp in the Vinter veins, now faced a new, invisible threat. Public confidence in the MSA's ability to govern solar space, already eroding, plummeted further. Media outlets on Earth, many influenced by corporate interests, began questioning the MSA's relevance beyond Earth's immediate orbital sphere. They're using the chaos to their advantage, Eric Hansen observed during a Secure Comms briefing with Astrid. The public is demanding answers, and the MSA has none. This network creates an environment of distrust and uncertainty, perfect for those who thrive on instability. Lars's team, after painstaking analysis, identified unique construction components within the network's signal structure. These are highly specialized, Chief, he reported. They require bespoke fabrication, likely developed by rogue engineers, or perhaps utilizing insights gained from Omnicorp's brief access to our technology after they captured the gear drone. It's too specific to be a coincidence. Omnicorp was after data, not just resources. They learned from us. A growing suspicion solidified into conviction. Silas Thorne, CEO of Omnicorp Ventures, was behind this. Not directly, but through a shadowy shell corporation or a mercenary group. His goal was clear: to create enough chaos in solar space to destabilize the established order, undermine NAA's hard-won gains, and gain strategic leverage. He was betting that the MSA would be paralyzed by its own bureaucracy and NAA would be too stretched to fight on two fronts. Chairman Lee publicly demanded NAA's help. It was a humiliating admission of the MSA's failure to control solar space. His holographic projection, radiating frustration, appeared on Astrid's comms console. "Chief Vinter," Lee began, his voice strained, "the Multinational Space Authority formally requests NAA's assistance in neutralizing this rogue network. Its continued operation poses an unacceptable threat to solar system stability." Astrid met his gaze evenly. "Chairman, NAA's mandate is resource acquisition and space cleanup, not solar system-wide law enforcement. Our resources are finite. Why has the MSA, with its vast planetary resources, been unable to deal with this?" Lee's jaw tightened. "Our traditional methods are proving ineffective against its distributed, adaptive nature. We lack the specialized deep space operational experience and the autonomous network capabilities that NAA has developed. We require your expertise." "Then we will assist," Astrid stated, "but on NAA's terms. Full access to all MSA intelligence regarding this network, a joint command structure for the operation, and public acknowledgement of NAA's superior capabilities in deep space network neutralization." "This is not a subordinate role, Chairman. This is a collaboration of equals, born from necessity." Lee hesitated, then reluctantly agreed. The political cost was high, but the alternative was continued chaos and the complete erosion of MSA's authority. The investigation intensified under the joint NAA-MSA command. Alera's team, now with MSA intelligence data, began to map the rogue network's true extent. Lars's team, leveraging NAA's autonomous swarm logistics, developed specialized counter-algorithms. The network was being used for more than just communication disruption. It facilitated illicit data transfer, corporate espionage on a massive scale, and perhaps even to destabilize nascent deep space economies by manipulating market data or spreading disinformation. It was a dark net of the solar system, a breeding ground for criminal and corporate opportunism. Evidence increasingly pointed to Silas Thorne. Transactions were traced through layers of shell corporations, leading back to entities with clear Omnicorp ties. Thorne was leveraging the chaos to acquire strategic information about other corporate ventures, disrupting competitors, and creating a power vacuum he intended to fill. Astrid, Lars, and Alera devised a complex plan to neutralize the network. It would not be a simple shutdown. The network was too resilient for that. Instead, it would be a coordinated strike combining NAA's superior cyber capabilities with surgical physical intervention by specialized NAA drone units. The goal was to disable the network's core functionality and expose its operators, while minimizing any potential collateral damage to other innocent data traffic. The operation was a complex dance of cyber infiltration and physical deployment. NAA's ASL drones, adapted for network disruption, initiated a wave of targeted cyber attacks. These were designed to overwhelm the rogue network's adaptive algorithms, forcing its distributed nodes to coalesce around a few central processing hubs for stability. This was a deliberate trap, creating vulnerable targets. Simultaneously, specialized NAA drone units, equipped with electromagnetic pulse emitters and network-severing tools, launched from Yggdrasil. Guided by Alera's precise astrogation, they moved with unprecedented speed and stealth to physically disable the identified core nodes of the rogue network. The operation involved high-stakes chase sequences through networks of hidden relay stations or mobile server farms, discreetly positioned in asteroid fields, camouflaged to avoid detection. Lars's team on Yggdrasil maintained constant digital warfare, fighting back against the rogue network's countermeasures, ensuring the physical strike teams had their windows of opportunity. Meanwhile, Chairman Lee and Eric Hansen were managing the political fallout. As NAA's drones began to dismantle the network, Omnicorp, through its proxies, launched a massive misinformation campaign. They accused NAAA of violating the MSA's territorial integrity, of corporate sabotage, and even of being the true architects of the rogue network. Eric Hansen, armed with irrefutable evidence provided by Lars's data traces and Alera's orbital surveillance, countered every false claim, exposing Omnicorp's digital fingerprints on the rogue network. The network was successfully neutralized. Not entirely destroyed, as some of its more decentralized components simply went dark, but its core functionality was severed. Key nodes were physically disabled, data servers were wiped or captured, and its ability to spread disruption was nullified. Silas Thorne, though publicly implicated by Eric Hansen's relentless media campaign, managed to avoid direct legal consequences due shielded behind layers of shell corporations and untraceable financial instruments. He was, however, politically and financially wounded, his reputation as a disruptive force severely compromised. Omnicorp stock took a significant hit. The MSA's authority was further eroded. They had been forced to rely on NAA, a move that highlighted their operational shortcomings in deep space. Chairman Lee, though relieved, was left to face renewed questions about the MSA's capacity for governance beyond Earth's immediate orbit. Astrid reflected on the cost of this victory. The immediate threat was gone, but the persistent danger of those who sought to exploit the deep space frontier remained. "We won the battle, Lars," she mused, observing the digital silence returning to the affected solar sectors. But the war for information space continues. This network was a weapon of disruption, and it will not be the last. A new, uneasy collaboration was forged between NAA and a humbled MSA. The MSA was forced to acknowledge NAA's critical role as a security provider in deep space, and new committees were formed to address deep space cybersecurity and information integrity. It was a step towards a more unified approach, but one born from crisis and necessity, not willing cooperation. Astrid realized that technology, while empowering, could also be a tool for persistent fragmentation. The fight for true unity was far from over. It had just moved into the information space, becoming a battle for data streams and network control. The incident highlighted the urgent need for a more robust deep space cybersecurity framework and a redefinition of governance in a solar system where information could be as valuable and as dangerous as resources. The solar frontier, once a distant dream, was now a tangible source of both unprecedented opportunity and new, profound conflict. The struggle for unity was far from over. It had merely expanded to encompass a larger, more complex digital sky.